Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of my Halloween series. I'm going to be doing a costume for every episode that we do, and today I am dressed up as Sam from Danny Phantom, so I have a little bit more hair than she does, but I think I did an okay job. So we're going to be talking about Dragula Season 4 today, but first, a word from our sponsor. Thank you so much to Atlas VPN for sponsoring today's video. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. It means you can get a 3-year subscription for just $1.99 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Time is running out, so get your deal by clicking the link in the video description below. Atlas VPN is a really handy tool that helps you protect your privacy online by rerouting all of your internet traffic through an encrypted tunnel. It protects you from spying, malware, pop-ups, viruses, and all of the other ghosts and ghouls lurking around on the internet. It also allows you to surf the web from anywhere, which comes in clutch if you're looking to watch some of your favorite shows and movies on streaming that may not always be available in your country. And you can do it all with lightning-fast speed and from any device. And you are really getting a bang for your buck here, guys. This is the best VPN deal on the market right now. I personally love using Atlas because I am a person who is chronically online and I like to feel safe and secure and protected whether I'm just browsing or working, whatever it may be. I also have really found value in being able to jump to different international streaming services like Netflix and seeing what's on there and what's available like in Australia or something. It's really beneficial, especially as I'm compiling a list for new and interesting projects to review. Again, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount right now. It means you can get a 3-year subscription for just $1.99 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Time is running out, so get your deal by clicking the link in the video description down below. Thank you so much again to Atlas VPN for sponsoring today's video. Now let's talk about Dragula. Reality TV drama has had an interesting evolution over the last, 15 years or so. Drama used to come with the territory, whether we're talking about Drag Race, the Housewives franchise, Big Brother, Flavor of Love. It sort of was the point of these shows back in the early 2000s. And everyone was mostly okay with that because there is something rather psychologically compelling about being able to turn your brain off and watch real-life cartoon characters bitch and fight about problems that aren't yours for once. But as the cultural landscape evolved, largely due to the rise of online fandoms and social media, the attitude toward just for drama reality TV became a little sour. People started positioning themselves to be above all that, not to mention, villains of reality TV couldn't just exist in a vacuum anymore. They were starting to receive vitriol online, regardless of whether or not they were really that person in real life, or if they were just edited that way. So because of these shifts in trends, reality TV felt like it was all of a sudden wrapped up in the cultural movement of having to be about something so audiences could feel morally superior when watching it. Cue the trend of let's talk about our traumas in the mirror while getting ready moments. Do I think that interjecting a little more heart and substance into these shows is a bad thing? Not necessarily, no, but it has become very sterilized to me in the sense that with a lot of these competition-based shows, Drag Race included, you can almost feel contestants censoring themselves in real time for fear of how they'll be perceived by online fan bases. It's a trade-off that I think has become accepted because one, good people are trying to actively minimize the harm done to these contestants online, especially if they are people of color or women, who tend to get the most vitriol thrown their way, wonder why that is, and two, because audiences still like to pretend that they don't like fighting and drama for fictional internet good boy points. And gag and bore me, goddamn. So by the time Dragula Season 4 rolls around and it's very clear that it's taking a different tone than other drag-centric reality shows that we're used to, people didn't really know how to receive it, and that's why I'm here to break it down for you in the first episode of our Halloween special series. If you haven't seen Dragula before, I actually did a recap last October where I talked about the rules of the game and did a full in-depth discussion of seasons 1 through 3. Obviously I won't be doing that here, but what I will do is I will give a spoiler warning for season 4, and I also will give a trigger warning because we are going to be showing footage from Dragula, which involves the spooky, crawly, scary, creepy, and gross, so if any of that stuff is not for you, this might be a video to skip. I won't be offended. Okay, so Dragula has evolved rather quickly in the span of time that it has actually existed. What started out as a low-budget YouTube series quickly transformed into a more polished competition show with more advanced production elements and game mechanics and a backing by both Amazon Prime and eventually Shudder. Despite this relatively fast evolution, the show has always been a bit rough around the edges, and the monsters for the most part were never afraid to throw down the way that they are on Drag Race nowadays. Season 4 was no exception to this, although it was clear from the very first episode that everything was amped up to a 10, mainly due to a couple big personalities in the room. Mary Cherry is a longtime staple of the Brooklyn drag and nightlife scene, and her inclusion on the season's cast was a little surprising at first because most people don't think of her as horror or alternative drag. Mary very clearly came into the show to make an impression, to draw the spotlight, and to do her own thing, to the point where she wasn't even necessarily following the prompts for several of the challenges she was a part of. And I think in a weird way the Boulet brothers respected it despite it kind of being a middle finger to them. Despite the fact that Mary wasn't even in that many episodes before she was eliminated, she seemed to have the most tension with almost everybody. Most notably Sigourney Beaver, who describes herself as a female impersonator. Literally from the moment these two met, they did not get along, and it all comes to a head eventually, but we'll get there. Mary and Sigourney aren't the only ones in an ongoing feud this season though. La Zavaleta, another Brooklyn-based performer, seemed to have beef with like everyone in the cast at one point. Bitter Betty and Jade Jolie of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 5 fame also had some ongoing tension that is implied to have started due to an incident that happened at their home bar prior to filming. The remaining cast members, Astrid Aurelia, Formaldehyde, Hoso Teratoma, Coco Kane, Saint, and Dali, orbit around this drama all throughout the season in a way that makes you feel like really no one is safe. One of the highlights of the drama this season is the iconic Monsters of Rock challenge, a legacy episode similar to Drag Race's Snatch Game. The monsters are split into teams and must work to create a full-on rock and roll performance. Mary, Sigourney, Jade, and Betty are put on a team together. Sigourney is the lead singer of the group, meaning she is also the group leader, but is clashing with Mary and the rest of her team over aspects of their performance, their outfits, and general responsibilities for the assignment. After the messy performance from the group in the main challenge, the Boulet brothers ask who should go home, and everyone says Mary, while also throwing the rest of the team under the bus by explaining that they watched Sigourney do most of the work, and it results in absolute chaos.
Well, fuck all of you. I did not expect everyone to say me, so that was a little hard.
There was no way I was gonna say Sigourney's name. She had been doing everything.
What do you mean everything?
She was here with us getting other people's outfits for y'all's
And we only know what we saw. She was never complaining about it.
No,
she really wasn't.
Sigourney, did I not ask you if there's anything that you need from me, let me know. I asked you twice, and you said you were good.
I mean, what would you have had to offer?
This is the tone of pretty much the entire season. Everyone is constantly on high alert, everyone is constantly trying to defend themselves and their drag to everyone else. A lot of the arguments often go in circles to the point that it all feels like white noise, and honestly, I kinda love it. I don't know, some people will definitely find it hard to watch, especially if you're just here for the looks, but it reminds me of some of the most iconic reality TV moments of yesteryear, like the Teresa table flip from Real Housewives, or the blood orange moment from Project Runway. These contestants are in a constant pressure cooker, trying to stand out and prove themselves, and I really didn't mind watching them get a little wild with it. It's way more fun than modern era Drag Race, where they all just immediately apologize to each other over comments that are barely even reads. This season of Dragula to me feels much more unapologetic in its whole tone and vibe, and I just like that it's not trying to appear super palatable to a particular audience. It's not trying to win Emmys, but it sure has won my heart. Especially if you consider the most iconic moment from the whole season, Dali's drama recap during the Ghost Ship Glamour episode.
That is very your attitude about it. I was talking.
Oh, but they didn't do that because I bring myself in what I do.
The fuck is happening?
So today's cauldron is just a big fucking hot mess. So far we have Saint completely upset about their critiques, even though they're in the top.
Well, you just missed the mark.
We have Hoso thinking this is complete bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Nobody's congratulating Sigourney on her win.
I want to announce that.
And whatever the fuck Jade and Zavaleta are doing.
Thank you. You're welcome. Good night. Oh, good night. Good night. Oh, good night. We're best friends. We're so close.
Fuck off.
Let's take a look at how this all started, shall we?
This is camp. It's silly and stupid, and I want more of this nonsense on my TV screen. As far as the rest of the season and how it played out in terms of challenges, eliminations, and the winner, I have some mixed feelings. First off, I did enjoy the element of surprise that came with a few of the eliminations, like Astrid's unexpected second outplacement. I also liked that the wins were spread out because it kept you guessing until the end. My biggest critique this season came with a few of the top monsters and how their arcs were handled. If you don't know, Saint, who competed on Dragula Season 3 and left pretty early, won a spin-off series called Dragula Resurrection, securing their spot on Season 4. This was weirdly undercut by the inclusion of Dali in this season's cast, a fan-favorite competitor on Dragula Season 2, who was also eliminated pretty early and despite their loss on Resurrection, was invited back to compete on Season 4 as well. This is not a knock against Dali. I think they are very talented and I enjoyed seeing their transformation from this sort of ethereal drag character to more of a masculine presenting drag ghoul. I think that they are a wonderful high energy performer and fans were very excited to see their return. But I think they did get a pass on a lot of what they presented. For example, the makeup was definitely pretty similar in every look they wore. And I think Saint, the other returning performer, was critiqued more fairly by the Boulets, and in some ways I would say they were critiqued a little harsher. This clearly plays on Saint's mentality throughout the competition, even having heart-to-heart with guest judge Bob the Drag Queen about how it's harder for black contestants to feel like they deserve a chance. I would have liked to see Saint win. I was rooting for them the most out of everybody, but I'm not necessarily mad about Dali taking it in the end. For me, it just sort of was a weird choice to have two cast members from previous seasons on a new season, and to bring one of them back despite failing to win a spot on the cast. I do think Dali's filth category in the final floor show was really great and actually felt like a fully realized and thought out performance, so once again, not too mad about it. I won't spoil the ending, go check it out for yourself. I also think that this should not have been a top 4, and that top 4s are going to haunt me on every single drag competition series until the end of time. I know everyone loves Sigourney, I get it. She wasn't my personal favorite, and I guess I just don't vibe with her style of drag as much as other people do, but I feel like her track record warranted an elimination before the final floor show. I do, however, agree that she was treated a little unfairly by a lot of the other cast members from what we saw, although many of them still insist to this day that Sigourney was somehow more nefarious than the show's portrayal of her let on, and she seemed really confused by that claim, so I would have to see some receipts for that. Hoso really surprised me. I really loved the uniqueness they brought to the competition, and I think they did the best in the final floor show overall. Their glamour look was beautiful, and the filth look was just so raw and unapologetic, so that was definitely another highlight for me. As far as the actual challenges this season, it felt like everything was slightly hindered by COVID. Some of the exterminations weren't as elaborate because they could only utilize a certain amount of people on set at a time, and many of the floor shows couldn't be done on location for that same reason. But there were categories I really liked, such as the Vampire Beach Party and the Hairy Monsters episode. And as someone who couldn't watch some of the grosser exterminations, I was happy to see some of the comedic takes on the challenge, like the mechanical bull ride or the clown go-kart race. That last one mostly because of Coco Cane. We as a society do not deserve the gift to this earth that is Coco Cane. So yeah, that's my opinion on all of Dragula Season 4. I think it really brought the drama and the rawness and the grittiness, and we saw some truly impressive and memorable looks along the way. I'm sorry if I don't stand your fave as hard as you would like me to. Feel free to let me know who you think I have a bad take about in the comments below. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you next time.